Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about how you can revalue the cost for items with the costing method average. So for example, you have some items. So this is a very simple example. This item, you could see I filter by the costing method average in the item list. But this item is a simple one because if you look at the replenishment and it's using the replenishment system purchase. Okay, so in the real scenario, if all your items are using the costing method average and you are doing production, and you may use the combination of both production orders and assembly orders, and also you use different locations, and the average cost at different locations is incorrect, and also the raw material cost is incorrect because when you report post consumption and you posted incorrect quantity of the consumption, which result in the incorrect cost for the finished goods, because the raw material costs more or less when you enter more or less quantity than it's supposed to be consumed. So that's in the real scenarios. Then you may have more complicated scenario than what I have here. So how do you, if that's the case, how can you revalue the cost for that item? So I have some customers, they have a production order, and the finished goods of the production order is used for assembly order. However, for the consumption, when they report post consumption, they enter like, for example, it's supposed to consume 40 pounds of the item, the raw material. They consume 100 pounds. So then the finished goods cost is much more higher than it's supposed to be. So then, but this finished goods is used on the assembly order. So for the finished goods of the assembly order, then the cost is much higher as well. And then the production order and assembly order are at two different locations. So this scenario is more complicated. But anyway, if you want to revalue the cost of the item, so they try to use different methods, and they try to add another production order to do something. But as long as the previous production order is finished, then you cannot reverse the consumption output anymore. Okay, so don't try to do that. What you have to do is you can use the revaluation journal. So revaluation journal usually is used for other costing method, but for average costing method, you can still use revaluation journal. But the difference is like for average costing method, it doesn't matter what version you are on. Even I'm using Business Central, it does not allow you to revalue a specific item ledger entry. So for example, on the line, if you are trying, I have a line revaluation journal. I have a line. I didn't have the I have the applies to entry here. Okay, so you can drill into the line. So because I didn't put in any item number in the line, but from applies to from this applies to entry, you can select specific item ledger entry to revalue. But for average costing method, you cannot do that. Okay, so for this item, because it's using the average costing method, so the cost right now I have is $7. Let's say I want to revalue it to $6. Okay, I cannot revalue to a specific item ledger entry, so I cannot do this. And so you can put a location code. Let's say it's not necessary. Okay, and you for this item you have these item ledger entries. You cannot select a, oh, it does in Business Central, this version it does allow you, but for other version like any version before Business Central, it does not allow you. Okay, I didn't test this in this version yet, so I tested in different versions of Dynamics NAV, but it seems like in this version it did allow you. Okay, so that's a good news for if you are using Business Central. Okay, so that's delete this entry number. Let's see if we're able to select another entry. You're supposed to be able to, let's select this. These are all the purchase receipt. Let's select this this shipment is an outbound entry, so it's not inbound entry, transfer shipment. So it's not supposed to let you, if you see, you cannot, this one, it shouldn't be able to revalue it, because it should only allow you to revalue the inbound entries. Let's try this one. Completed. Completely invoice must be equal to yes. The current value is not. So that's not invoice. That's why it does not allow you to revalue it. But this one is invoiced. So yeah, it will allow you to revalue it. Okay, so for Business Central version, it allow you to do this, but most of our customers are still using Dynamics NAV 2018 or previous versions. So in their version, it does not allow them to revalue specific entry. If that's the case, then so we have to delete this line, but we still have to use this item number. Okay. If that's the case, then what you have to do, you can use calculate inventory value. Then you can put a posting date. Let's use today's date. And from here, if it does not allow you to use specific item ledger entry, you have to select item, calculate per item. And if it's for a different location, do not use the location filter or variant filter here. It will ask you to use location and the variant. Okay. Ask you to check this checkbox. So you have to enable these two checkbox, and the item we are trying to revalue is this one. Okay, and so document number, we already have it populated. So that's it. Then you just click on OK. Then it should calculate. It didn't calculate for me somehow because this date. Okay. So let's see what is the date for those entries. Go to applies to entry. No, need to put in this item number here. So then we can use this applies to entry. Okay, so those dates, that's why. So those dates later. It's this is the date, and 2021 October 13th. Okay. If you are using a date earlier than that, and it will not do any revaluation. Okay, so let's use this date. Seems to be correct, right? Okay, then let's do item, and by location item, let's do this. You see, now it populates those entries for you to revalue it. As I said, these are all those purchase receipt entries, right? So if look at this, remove this. So you see those entries, 326, 400, 192. There's no transfer shipment because as I said, that's outbound transaction. It shouldn't give you a chance to revalue it, because outbound transactions are carrying the cost from the inbound inventory transactions. Okay, so yeah, so those are the ones. And 330, this quantity comes up twice somehow. So let's see why it's come up 447. This is still 447. What's this one? No, these are combination of two receipts here. 255, 232, 1. So these are green locations. In the green location, it only allow you to revalue that 192. Okay, it didn't give you the chance to revalue it 6400 at the green location because it's not invoiced yet, probably. So it's cost amount actual. There's no cost amount actual. So only when you see cost amount actual, that means it's been invoiced. Okay, so this one is only cost amount expected. And you have this invoiced quantity. You see, this is 0. And this is 192. So that's why it didn't give you the chance to revalue the first entry because it's not invoiced yet. And so why this asks you to give you populate that entry twice? Let's see. Oh, I think because we manually entered this entry. This one is the one we manually enter. These two are the ones like it's calculated by the system. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so when you do this, then it just calculated this entries for you, right? So this is how, if your version, your NAV version does not allow you to revalue for a specific item ledger entry, then you have to use the calculate inventory value and make sure you select, when you do this, you select the calculate per item, not calculate per item ledger entry. So after you, how you revalue, let's say we want to make this cost to 6 instead of 7. Then you post these entries from your revaluation journal. After you post, then you have to do an item, adjust cost item entries to make sure adjust cost, adjust cost item entries. You have to do this and to make sure that the item, no, I don't have the item number in my clipboard anymore. Okay, so let's just copy this item number again. Then, so now, right now, if you go here, then let's refresh to see if this unit cost updated or not. So it's not updated yet. So let's do adjust cost. Usually we have to do the adjust cost item entries. Okay, and then put in the item number and then click OK. Okay, so it's done. Let's go back to this item and refresh. Okay, and to see, so you see our unit cost changed because we adjusted some of the entries to be, there's some uninvoiced entries, so we are not able to adjust those costs, but we are able to adjust costs for the other entries which are invoiced. We are able to adjust them to 6. Okay, so you see this one has been adjusted to 6. That's why you see that this cost amount has been changed from 7 to 6.926. This is the weighted average, okay, because we revalued the entry on this day, October 13th, this $6. Okay, so that's everything I want to share in this video. Hope this helpful. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. I hope to see you guys again next time.